Hi angels, this is day 2 of my video journal. I don't know if I explained it in the first video, but my mind is all over the place. But I have PTSD and severe social phobia disorder and generalized anxiety disorder. And although I'm very good at helping others and advocating, and I'm very passionate about ending human trafficking and SA and childhood SA, and that's next to my cubs, that's my life. But I have been so occupied with that I myself was never able to heal. But this is what helps me to get through it. But I've become so lost along the way because I've never been able to get the help that I needed. The only reason I've gotten through everything I have is my son, especially because I have children that don't speak to me because of a lot. I mean, some of it was true, but most of it was lies that were told to them over the years, and I don't blame them at all. But without them and going through everything that I was going through and being trafficked and hurt, and when I had my son, it was the only thing that kept me alive. And ever since then, I have been fighting as hard as I can to make a better life for him. But it's been really hard because he is a special needs child, and we've endured a lot of violence in the last few years, and we have had no help, no support. I mean, very little. The community and organizations are so oversaturated that everything is either a waiting list or cost money, a lot of money, which is why I was never able to get help, because free counseling does not work for people like me who have such extensive trauma. And it's like $150 to $250 an hour to get proper psychotherapy, and EMDR is something that I'd really like to do, and I've wanted to for a long time, but it is incredibly expensive. So that's why I went into this field to help my son and to help myself. But it's so different when you're helping other people. I'm very good at what I do. I'm just not very good at taking care of myself and overcoming everything I did. And because of losing my job at the OPP Police Department, or the Communications Center here in North Bay, because of the violent harassment my son and I went through, and then, we ended up losing our home and ended up being in a hotel through the crisis center, and now we finally got a place, and now they would only sign a 6-month tenancy because of our eviction, and I was just informed that after 2 months of being here that he is not going to renew my lease September 30th because my son put water. I mean, he was just being mischievous, and yes, it's bad. He should have known better, but he put water into a couple of pipes that ended up going into a water heater. Now, I don't think it caused extensive damage, but it did cause some damage. I'm 2 days late on my rent, or I will be 2 days late on my rent, $170 of it. So that was a big no-no to him. So because of those things, we're being asked to leave again. It sucks because, if people only knew, I think people have become so numb and so used to hearing about people going through trauma. It's become like so common. But for people who haven't been through certain traumas, you know, they don't, like, I escaped 14 years ago. Aislinn's going to be 13, and I got pregnant shortly after I escaped my trafficker. And that seems like a long time to some people. Like, well, you should have dealt with it and got over it by now. But when you live it for most of your life, 13 years is not a very long time. I can't even express how fast that goes. And when you don't get the help that you need, and you're alone, and you're raising a special needs child who has serious issues and serious behavioral issues that trigger your mental health issues, and it's a vicious cycle, you have no idea how hard it is to make the life you so desperately want for you and your child. And people just, they're so quick to judge and just say, okay, well, we gave you a chance and you screwed it up. And I absolutely get that what my son did was bad. And, we've had the police here a couple times because of his behavior, but it's not his fault. That kid has been through a lot, so have I. We have not gotten the proper help that we need. And, we do the best we can, and like there's a lot of people out there who go through the same thing, but they have family or they have a spouse. My son and I have been completely alone. I have my parents that I talk to once in a great while, and they've even helped out with money here and there. But I'm talking about help that we need, support that we need, somebody we can both talk to. And like, I don't even have friends. I have nobody because I have isolated myself so much over the years. So I'm making my goal that even though our lease is September 30th, I'm giving myself to my birthday, which is September 3rd. I'm going to be 51. And I'm going to do everything I can to get past. Like, I've become so homebound that every time I take my dog for a walk, I go into serious panic attack mode. And I don't want to live like this anymore. My son doesn't deserve this. We used to spend so much time hiking and being in nature, which we both love. And that's what we need again. I need a job, not just any job, a really good job, one that I want, like at the hospital, that I can have purpose, that I can help the kind of people I really want to help. So I'm working with Yes Employment to get a really good job in my field, and I know that will help. And I'm trying to find a way to get Aislinn into some programs. He's in a summer camp, thanks to my parents. And we just need to start spending more time outdoors. I am going to save money, and we're seriously thinking about just buying a camper and living in that for 6 months to a year and saving up as much as we can and moving into a 2 to 3 bedroom home with a yard. Not one where I live downstairs or upstairs from someone. We went through violent harassment for a year with no help from anyone, not even the police. And here we are, the day we moved in, the day they moved in upstairs. They were rude to us from the very moment. They won't even let Aislinn play in the backyard that they never ever use. They said it was because they had a dog that wasn't friendly. They've never owned a dog. I don't know why people are just so mean and nasty and miserable in their life that they have to treat others like that. We've never been anything but kind to them. But this shit, we're done. So I'm not putting him through this trauma anymore. And I'm not going to deal with people who don't understand what we're going through and won't even try to give us a little leeway. But that's what we're going to do. So I'm almost out of time. But please, please like this, share this, subscribe. Please help me to make a life for me and my son that he so very, very much deserves. Thank you.